Hi guys, it's Jamila here from Slap. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the brand new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drops. This is Rihanna's answer to a skin tint, Rihanna's answer to no makeup. So I'm going to be testing it out for you guys today. If you haven't subscribed already guys, please subscribe. We would love to have you in the Slap family. And without further ado guys, here is the video. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the brand new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drops. I got these in the shade 20, which is one of the most hard, difficult shades in the world to get your hands on, but I managed to get my hands on it. So I'm going to be reviewing this for you guys today. I'm also going to be doing a little wear test as well. So as you may have seen from the comments of my last video, I was supposed to be doing a video on this Fenty Beauty Eaze Drops, and then I literally couldn't find them anywhere in London. They were literally sold out in my shade all across London. But luckily, my brother managed to get them from the US. So if you do like this video and you do see the shade, then just get it because it keeps selling out. I've got nothing on my face at the moment. I'm very bare, as you can see. I haven't put any concealer on because I just want to show you guys what it looks like on my skin. I know you hate it when I put on concealer first. So I'm just coming to you bare face. I've done my brows and my eyes. On one side I'm going to do it with my fingers as they recommend you can. On the other side I'm going to do it with a sponge, which is how I would normally do it. So I'm just going to get into it. This is brand new from Fenty Beauty. These are the Eaze Drops. They are the follow-up to her very successful Pro Filter Foundation, Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation, Pro Filter Matte Powder Foundation. I actually have only got the Pro Filter Original Foundation. I really like that. I didn't find it drying, so I didn't really feel the need to get the hydrating one, and I kind of saw mixed reviews on it. I was very tempted by the powder foundation, but I just never got around to getting it, and I just didn't know whether I would truly wear it as a powder foundation very much. And then out of nowhere she just released this skin tint, and it's the perfect time. It's just in time for summer. Felt like I definitely had to get it. I was really uncertain as to whether I was going to do a video on it because there are so many videos out already, and I just didn't know whether mine was really needed. But I did a poll and you guys said you still wanted to see it, so here it is. This tint is slightly different from all of her other foundations in that it doesn't come in 50 shades. This comes in 25 shades, so it is half of her shade range, but because it's a tint, I guess they're kind of presuming that these shades are a bit more adaptable, it's a bit more translucent, you probably don't want as much pigment. So I got the shade 20, which has been a super popular shade because it is the shade for 420, which is also a super popular shade. In the US, it's available at Fenty Beauty and Sephora. So I will leave all the links down below. On the website, she does kind of have a few little shade guides. So if you know your Pro Filter shade, then you should be able to find your equivalent quite easily in the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drops. When it first came out, I watched a few initial reviews, which I don't like to do normally, but I saw a few initial reviews and it seemed like it was an amazing tint. Everyone seemed to love it, so I'm really excited to try it. I'm hoping it's going to be as good for me. I do have a few favourite tinted moisturisers like the It Cosmetics, Lancome 10 Idol Ultra Wear Nude, one of my favourites. The Laura Mercier tint is really good as well. The It Cosmetics and the Laura Mercier, their shade ranges aren't that huge, so I feel like this Fenty one could be a really good dark horse for summer that everyone can use. So I'm excited to try it because the shade range is better. It's not as huge as her regular shade ranges, but it is still quite expansive and inclusive, so I'm excited to try it for you guys today. So it is £25 and $29.50. It's 32 mils and it is 1.08 fluid ounces. So it says flexible skin tint, easy to apply, soft blurred finish. A blurring skin tint that delivers smooth, instantly blurred skin in just a few easy drops. The blur is real. Rihanna wanted to create a light coverage, easy to apply, flexible skin tint that instantly evens out your complexion and gives a flattering blurred effect. Eaze Drop with hydrating quick blur complex is perfect for a no makeup look or for when you want to look effortlessly put together. Instant blurring skin tint in 25 flexible shades, buildable light to medium long wear coverage with quick blur complex for a hydrating diffused effect. Smooth texture that layers well with primer and skincare, applies well with fingers or brush, humidity, sweat and transfer resistant formula. I'm going to show you guys the packaging really quickly and then I'm going to get into the demo. So guys, this is the packaging. I really love it. I feel like the packaging is super nice. It's in like a squeezy bottle, which is really handy because obviously it's a tint and you just want to be able to use it wherever you want. It's plastic, so it's not going to break when you travel. I feel like it's a perfect packaging for like a little tint like this. It's not overly complicated. It doesn't have a pump, but I think the way that it is designed is quite intuitive and just easy to use. As you can see, the color was pretty much perfect. It literally couldn't be a better match. It gives a little bit of pigment, but it does blend out really effortlessly, really nicely, and it feels really smooth on my skin. So I'm just going to pour a bit out onto my hands. One drop like that. There's a very slight scent to it, but it's not overpowering. So that's it with just a little bit on one side. It's definitely evened out my complexion, definitely. It hasn't covered everything, but it's really made it look very smooth, looks very natural. It just looks like my skin. It feels very soft on my skin, so I do really like this. I'm going to show you on this side with a sponge just so we can see if it gives a slightly different effect. But I really like applying it with the fingers. It wasn't too messy at all. It's just a case of just smoothing it out, and it was very, very quick as well. So that is it on. This is it with just one drop on each side. I definitely feel like there's more coverage on the side that I used with just my fingers. It just looks a bit more even, and I feel like it's a bit more opaque. Whereas on this side, it's definitely a bit more sheer with the sponge. I also felt like I was losing quite a lot of product to the sponge. So I'm just gonna layer up some more on both sides. With this side, when I use my fingers to do the second layer, I definitely do feel like it feels a bit heavier, a bit more thick. So I would say just stick with one application, because when I just applied with my fingers and then went back in to apply with my fingers, it feels weightless on. But on this side where I applied with the sponge and then I went in with my fingers, it just feels a bit thick. It doesn't feel as weightless as it did before. So I'm just going to shear out this side slightly with the sponge. So that is it on, guys. I'm just going to give you guys a close up, and then I'm going to finish my face and come back. I just use the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, which is the concealer I tend to use most of the time these days, just because it's so lightweight and it's really brightening as well. I didn't want to use anything too heavy just because this is such a lightweight tint, and I haven't used any on my cheeks, but I still think that it's really brought it alive, and you can really see how natural and luminous this tint is. Even though it's not super dewy like a lot of tinted moisturizers and tints, it's got a really nice finish. It still has a really nice bounce to it. So I really like this. I think it's really nice. I'm just going to powder under my eyes. So guys, that is my finished look. I do really like this. I feel like it's super nice. It just looks really natural on my skin, really perfected. It doesn't look too heavy at all. I think as soon as I put on the concealer, it really sung for me, and it just kind of balanced out my skin tone and just made it a bit brighter where I needed it to be. It doesn't look overly dewy, which I do like. Sometimes in summer, you're already quite hot and oily and dewy, and you don't really need to add coverage that makes you more dewy. It looks really natural. It's got a really nice kind of coverage to it, so I'm really happy with it so far. I'm gonna just give you guys a quick final close-up. So guys, that is it. That's my finished look. I really like this tint. I feel like it is worth the hype, and I do see why so many people have enjoyed it and are clamoring to buy it and get it. I think it is really nice. It does give my skin a really nice luminosity, and it does have a really nice semi-matte finish. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy. It just looks like a really nice satin finish, which I really like. It gives my skin a little bounce. It looks healthy, but it's not overly matted down. It doesn't feel drying, and it really doesn't feel like I have anything on, especially on the side that I use my fingers. So I personally would just advise using your fingers. I don't feel like you need a sponge with this. The sponge side doesn't look too bad, especially since I put a bit of concealer under my eye. Normally I wear my concealer the other way around, so I feel like this will be absolutely fine to use with a sponge. The shade match was absolutely perfect. I think that's really good. Even though she did half her shade range, you can still get a pretty much perfect match, which is great. It just looks just like my skin tone, which is amazing. I think it's really nice. I think it looks really good with a bit of concealer, a bit of highlight, just a few other little complementary products, but it did look really good on its own as well. So I think this is a really good, easy to use product that you can use all summer long, all year long, depending on how much makeup you like to wear and how much you want your skin to show. Has the slightest scent, but nothing overpowering, and it's not something you can really put your finger on as being something overly gross, overly floral, or overly synthetic, which is great. I really like the packaging as well. It's really easy to use. The fact that they've just left the lid white is really helpful, because it means that when I'm touching this bit with my fingers that have got tint on it, it's not going to get dirty. It's just going to kind of stay the same. So I really think this packaging is a lot more considered. I'm going to be checking back in with you guys. So I've actually made a bit of a boo-boo. I washed my face as soon as I got home, about 5 hours after I'd actually applied my makeup, which is very, very silly of me. So I actually had to reapply it, put this back on at 6:30, and I believe it's now gone 12:30. So it's been on for a little while. I had a mask. I also wore a mask in the house just to kind of demo what I'd been doing in the day. I was on the tube. I had a mask on, so I wanted to kind of recreate that. So I wore a mask in the house. So this is it on. I put on 2 layers with my fingers on both sides, and then I powdered under my eye like I did before. I put my brows back on just so they looked a bit more normal, and that's it. I also set my face with Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, which I did when I first did my demo. So this is it 6 hours in. I didn't put on the bronzer or anything, but this is it on after 6 hours with a mask on for about an hour and glasses on, and me rubbing my face as well. It looks very glowy. It definitely looks very illuminating. I am quite hot. I've got 2 jumpers on for no good reason. You can see a lot more through my skin, and you can see a lot more of my blemishes and things, but I really do like the way this wore. It was really nice, really comfortable to wear, and it felt really good on my skin. It's not the most durable foundation. It doesn't really claim to be. It is a tint, so it's just supposed to give your face a little tint, and I do feel like it's done a good job. I think it's really, really nice, really good for people who like a natural finish, who don't like to look like they've got too much makeup on, and it's kind of come at the perfect time, just in time for summer when we're not necessarily looking to get a full-on, full coverage face, but we want to look smooth, we want to look even, and we want to look natural. So I think it's also perfect for those coming out of lockdown who aren't quite used to wearing a lot of product as well. So I think so far, I like the shade, really like the finish, really like the feel, and really like the way it looks. So far so good, very happy with it. Anyway guys, I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed already guys, please subscribe. We would love to have you in the Slap family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.